Jack Perkins, and like everyone you will see in this brief video, I have some involvement with, but mostly a great affection for, the Bangor Symphony Orchestra. Our video is called The Unfinished Symphony, and it's part of the Centennial endowment campaign for the orchestra. Centennial? Yes, it was on a cold November night back in 1896 in the old Bangor City Hall that this orchestra was born. By now, it has become the oldest continuously operating community orchestra in the country. It has grown to a 90-piece orchestra, and today, we're proud to say it is a model across the nation.
Back in the 1890s, Bangor was a booming place. They were still enjoying the fruits of the lumber years, and there was a lot of wealth in this town, high society, culture, and Bangor viewed itself a rival of New York City, and indeed thought that it held the promise of being the largest city on the East Coast. Now at that time, New York had a Philharmonic, Boston had a symphony, and even Chicago had an orchestra, and at that time those were the three permanent orchestras in the country. Well, if they had a symphony, Bangor deserved a symphony.
When I got married and came to Bangor, I was delighted that they had a symphony. And it was in the old City Hall, and right in the middle of some program, the pipes used to bang, 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 and we just sat there and listened and just got used to that.
I became a member of Bangor Symphony Orchestra approximately 38 years ago. Actually, you might say I joined the orchestra. It was a time when you didn't necessarily have to audition, that if you could hold a drumstick or a violin, usually you were in.
As a young child, my family started taking me to the symphony. And one of the things that I have observed firsthand, certainly, is the growth of the symphony. This community has a symphony, as far as its quality is concerned, in excess of what a community ordinarily this size would have. And it's because of the dedication of the musicians, because of the dedication of the community, and also certainly because of the conductors that we've been able to attract.
Horace Mann Poulin was the first conductor of the symphony, and he held the baton for approximately 20 years. There was a short time during his tenure that Melville Andrews was the conductor. After Poulin, Adelbert Sprague was the conductor, and he also conducted for approximately 20 years. Following Sprague, Stanley Kading took over as conductor, and he also was a professor here in what was then the Symphony House. After Kading, Peter Ray became conductor. During his tenure, the symphony went from an all-volunteer orchestra to a professional orchestra. Following Peter Ray, Miles Morgan took the baton, and then Werner Torkanowski. With Torkanowski, the symphony was brought to a level that nobody ever dreamed possible, a level of excellence.
He was, definitely a perfectionist. He knew exactly the sounds that he wanted to get. And he knew how to get them.
And I remember rehearsing with him, and it was a real highlight for me performing with such an amazing musician. And to find out not long after that he was gone was very traumatic.
He expected that you were going to come into every rehearsal not only prepared, but mentally prepared and ready to go, and he would never expect anything less.
Personally, I think he was very well liked and certainly extremely highly respected. It was just agonizing, I'm sure, for every member of the orchestra, his passing.
I shall be ever grateful for the opportunity to having played under his baton.
For the orchestra. He knows what the orchestra can do, where he can bring it. Because of the commitment of this community to the orchestra, I think it gives him the freedom to be a visionary.
Each conductor has his style, his touch that he adds. This band has a youthful, vigorous style.
I think he's kind of cool because he gets really excited about the music and stuff.
I like seeing him always go like this. Like, all he does is go like that and then read the notes.
It's hard to keep your eyes off of him because his whole body speaks the music. His facial expressions, the way he moves, you can feel what he is trying to convey to the musicians as well as the musicians from an audience standpoint. It's just magical what he does on the podium.
I think it's genuinely one of the best, what they call community orchestras in the country. And this is based on the fact that most of the players are kind of part-time musicians. They don't play all the time for a living. Many of them are teachers, but many of them even do other things. I mean, the first trumpet player is actually a lobsterman. That's his main job. It is extremely good. I mean, the fact that we can actually pull off sometimes some of this really hard music, I think is testament to that.
Nothing like the feeling of an orchestra and 90 members or more coming together to make music. It's almost unbelievable. We have people from Bolivia, from Latvia, from Russia, from France, from all over, and they're part of our greater Bangor community now.
Here, very good life, very good people. I feel very free. I can study, I can play what I like. But in Russia, sometimes I can play only what's like music Communist Party.
Music is a thrill for me. It gives me my life, it gives me my purpose for living. This is an old saying, but it's really true. It is the language of all people, and if you know music, you don't have to speak their language because you already do.
I was a teenager not too long ago, and I was a hard rocker from the 70s. Believe me, I listened to all those crazy bands. I said, oh, the symphony, this is elevator music. I mean, I didn't ever want to go, but you know, my parents just kept the pressure on, and it comes, it happens. You can't help it. All of a sudden, you start listening to the music. When I tell people from other areas that Bangor, Maine has a symphony orchestra, and a good symphony orchestra, they're like, what, are you kidding me? I said, yeah, you ought to come hear them sometime.
The Bangor Symphony is a great regional resource. It adds to the quality of life, and it adds to the quality of life with a whole range of people. We have quite a range of programs that we offer. It's more than just the 5 classical concerts. It's the Nutcracker at Christmas time. It's Pops in the summer. It's a youth concert.
In terms of building a commitment to orchestras later, this is where it starts. You plant those seeds right now, and they learn that it's a great experience, it's a neat outlet, and it's something they can do forever.
I love music. Music's my life. I think the Bangor Symphony is really, really good. Each year they have different repertoire and I love to listen to them.
Someday I would like to join a big symphony. I've been practicing for 7 years.
Yeah, I'm amazed, willing to give up that time, especially when we're sitting in here and it's a beautiful day outside. They are very committed to the process of making music, yes.
It's really worth it because there's not too many groups around the state or in this area that really focus in on classical music. So it's really nice to have an actual youth symphony that you can actually go down to and play the music that you enjoy.
It's an outlet for me, basically. It gets rid of my stress. It just takes me to a different world.
The marvelous thing about kids is that they don't know that they're not supposed to like classical music. When a child will come up to me and say, "It's wonderful to be in your class, Mrs. Minkins," that makes all the difference in the world.
When I'm in music class, I smile a lot and I feel excited. It makes me want to think that I will get to play the musical instruments. Mrs. Minkton likes my singing, and I'm a real good singer. I sing anytime, any place, anywhere.
1, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. I feel that the outreach and the work with within the schools is very, very important for the symphony, because unless young people can be exposed to what the symphony has to offer, the audience is of ever decreasing size if we don't augment it with young people who feel that music is also important. Pops on the Green is a wonderful family event, and I always enjoy watching the children enjoy the music.
There's nothing any more thrilling than to look out into the audience and see 1,400 children all staring in awe at you.
I liked it. I had a couple of friends that went there too. They thought it was really cool.
Well, I think we're in an exciting time right now. It's a new time with a new conductor. I know there's great movement on the board. Lots of interest in the community. Probably we'll be heading toward more concerts, maybe a Saturday evening or Saturday day concert. I think the quality of the orchestra is just always continuing to improve, and that's always very exciting.
We would like to do some more run-out concerts. We'd like to think of more educational opportunities for students in school systems, and we'd like to also improve our own level of artistic presentation. And the musicians want to do that, and we have a wonderful conductor that is able to lead us in this direction. That's the beauty of where we are today. But we also need to have a firm base from which to launch these different initiatives. You can't do it starting with ground zero every single year, and that's what an endowment will do.
We are supported by the community, the people, and the corporations here in this town and this area. And it is solely on those types of people that we rely on. I mean, we couldn't exist without the community spirit.
We have all agreed that to the Bangor Daily News, this is a very important campaign to support, and I would urge other local businesses and firms to follow our lead and support the Centennial campaign of the Bangor Symphony Orchestra.
I would like to see this orchestra here for another 100 years for my daughter Marion and the generations to come. An endowment campaign would enable this orchestra to have that secure footing and to be able to endure the vagaries of economic ups and downs. And perhaps another 100 years without missing a downbeat would be a remarkable achievement.
Since the orchestra was born a century ago, just think of the tens of thousands of Maine families who have enjoyed a Bangor Symphony concert program. Which is to say, think of the tens of thousands of Maine families who have received the unique gift of great music live. Music to uplift the spirits, to enlighten the minds, to delight the senses. Our challenge now is to ensure the future of the Bangor Symphony Orchestra. Our challenge now is to provide the resources that will guarantee this cultural treasure is here for generations to come. Thanks for sharing this time.